Epicurus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "Be with people who lift you up, people whose presence brings out your best qualities." To help you understand the nuances of the Stoic view on friendship, this video will also talk about the 7 types of people who can get in the way of your growth in Stoic philosophy. For your Stoic journey to go well, you need to be aware of these negative effects and rethink your friendships with them. Number 1. The complainer. The first type of person that Stoics say you should stay away from is the complainer. Everyone has a friend, family member or neighbor who always finds something wrong with everything. They never miss a chance to say how unhappy they are, whether it's with the weather, their job, or even the food at a popular restaurant. At first look, it might seem easy to ignore them, but the Stoic view reminds us of how bad it is to be around such negativity all the time. Stoicism tells us to stop dwelling on problems and instead focus on things we can do to fix them. Imagine working on a project with someone who is always complaining. Each meeting turns into a tiring session of complaints with no room for helpful conversation. Being around negative people all the time can lower team morale and take your attention away from finding answers that can be put into action. Stoicism gives us a number of useful ways to deal with people who complain. First, think about reducing your time with this person as much as you can. If you can't do that because of family or work ties, your second choice is to mentally separate yourself from them while they vent. Think of their complaints as passing storms, loud and scary, but only for a short time, and unable to move the rock that is your inner peace. The third thing you can do is steer the talk with the complainer towards solutions or more positive topics. Focusing on what you can control is a Stoic concept that fits with this way of doing things. You can protect your mental peace and stay on the Stoic path of virtue and resiliency. By focusing on solutions you can put into action and avoiding people who constantly complain. Thoughtful Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events." This timeless Stoic knowledge tells us to carefully guard our mental peace and keep people who always complain from getting in the way of our Stoic growth. Number 2. The drama magnet. Another type you should stay away from is the drama magnet. Imagine that your life is a ship traveling through calm water, when all of a sudden you run into a whirlpool of chaos and conflict. That's what the drama magnet is. Like a vortex, they seem to bring in problems and disasters, and their chaos spreads. It can be hard to deal with people who are drama magnets because their problems can start to feel like your own. For instance, you may have a friend who fights a lot with other people in your social group, and their problems always involve you. To get through this storm, you might want to use tactics like selective unavailability or reflective listening. Reflective listening means repeating what they say to them to help them feel better without getting involved in the drama. As you listen to and acknowledge their worries and feelings, you can help them feel heard and understood without getting involved in their arguments. This way of doing things fits with the Stoic principle of empathy, which says we should try to see things from other people's points of view without losing our own peace. Another good strategy is to deliberately become unavailable at certain times. Stress how important your time and personal growth are. For focus times when you can only work on your work or personal growth, turn off your phone at certain times. Let it be known that no one should bother you during these times. True happiness is to enjoy the present without worrying about the future. To quote Seneca, this Stoic wisdom can help you a lot when you're working with people who like to cause trouble. Instead of worrying about what problem will happen next, concentrate on the here and now, where you are in charge. Have fun with your life and don't let someone else's problems get in the way of it. Be sure to sail your ship quietly and stay away from whirlpools that could get in the way of your journey to peace and personal growth. Number 3. The naysayer. The third type of person you should stay away from is the naysayer. This person usually has negative opinions about everything and doesn't give helpful comments. When you tell them about your hopes or excitement, they quickly come up with all the ways your ideas can't work. Their criticism can slowly make you less sure of your own vision. If someone doesn't agree with your plans, you might want to ask them for help instead of just telling them about your plans. When someone is an advisor, they are less likely to say bad things about your ideas and may give you more useful comments. This method fits with the Stoic idea that you should seek wisdom from others, even if they seem critical at first. Positive confrontation is another useful way. Ask the doubter to focus on finding answers instead of dwelling on the issues at hand. If they say, "You'll never be able to change careers at this point," you can respond with an interesting question like, "How do you think someone could successfully change careers?" This method not only keeps negative people away, but it also leads to more positive talk. Quote from Epictetus, a Stoic thinker: "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening doesn't mean taking in everyone's bad mood. It means separating useful information from useless background noise. When doubters start to get in the way of your vision, take a step back and decide how you want to react. This helps you stay strong and confident inside while keeping your mind on your goals and dreams. Number 4. The victim. The fourth type, the victim, sees life as a series of bad luck and always puts the blame on outside forces. They won't take credit for what they did, which makes it seem like they can't do anything. If you talk to a victim, you might end up solving all of their problems. If you want to help a victim, you could ask them open-ended questions that make them think about their situation instead of giving them answers. By encouraging them to think about themselves, you help them see how they fit into their situation. One question that can help is, "What do you think you could do differently in this situation?" Or, "How do you see yourself taking control of this aspect of your life?" Tell them they should be involved in their story. You could also show them care and kindness without trying to save them from problems they need to solve on their own. Listen and be there for them emotionally, but don't take over their problems all the time. Remember what the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said: "The best way to get back at someone who hurt you is to be unlike them." Stop yourself from becoming the victim if you find yourself getting caught up in their story. Be in charge of your own game board and make your moves. Remember that staying in checkmate is often a choice, not a fate. Don't play for revenge or pity, but for growth and knowledge. Keep your pieces going forward and make strategic sacrifices when you need to. By doing this, you keep your own story going and encourage others to do the same. Before we move on to number 5, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss another one of our videos about Stoicism and how to take control of your life. Number 5. The toxic positivist. The fifth type you should stay away from is the toxic positivist. The person in question is always happy and refuses to notice anything that isn't good. Being optimistic is a good trait, but being too optimistic can make your thoughts seem unreal and cut you off from the real world. To deal with a toxic positivist in a healthy way, you should have conversations that include both light and dark topics, recognizing how complicated feelings and life's problems can be. Emotional granularity is the skill of being able to feel and tell the difference between a lot of different feelings, both good and bad. When you're constantly surrounded by positivity, write down your complicated thoughts. You could say something like, "I'm feeling a little down today because of joy," and that's fine. This freeing statement lets you feel what you're feeling without being too positive. Practicing Stoicism teaches us to accept the complicated nature of life with calm. You don't have to only think about the good or bad things in life. You have to accept them all with knowledge and strength. Give your emotional garden the care it needs to stay rich and complicated. If someone is a toxic positivist and throwing confetti in your well-kept yard, take a step back, accept all of your feelings, and keep working on your inner peace. Number 6. The manipulator. The 6th type is the manipulator, which means someone who changes the plot of your life in a way that mostly helps them. To get what they want, manipulators use different methods, like charm, guilt trips, and lying. Getting rid of manipulators needs a plan that is in line with Stoic ideas. If a trickster says, "You're doing so well, you should pay for dinner," you can say, "You're right, I have been doing well, but let's split the bill like we always do." You stay in charge of your actions by recognizing that what they said is true without giving in to emotional manipulation. One more helpful thing you can do is set clear limits and firmly enforce them. Learn how to politely but clearly say no when someone tries to trick you into giving them money or doing something you don't want to do. "I can't lend you money, but I'm here to offer emotional support." This answer makes clear limits while still being friendly. Stoicism tells us that we can't change the things that happen to us, but we can always change how we react to them. Manipulators love it when you react in an expected way, but if you choose to react in a different way, you take back control of your story. You write your own story, which stops manipulators from telling you what to do with your life. Number 7. The time vampire. The 7th type you should stay away from is the time vampire. Consider your daily tasks as carefully planned instruments that fit together like the notes on a symphony. This music is broken up by the time vampire, who constantly wants your time and attention without giving you much in return. Setting clear limits and managing your time well are important when dealing with time vampires. Start by being clear about your availability and boundaries in a polite but firm way. Let them know when you're free for meetings or calls and when you need to work without interruptions. Tell them to be as careful with your time as you are with theirs. Another good approach is to change their demands to include better or more useful ways to communicate. For instance, if a friend likes to talk on the phone for long periods of time without getting anywhere, suggest that they use text messages or emails for short, focused updates or questions. This gives you back control over your time and keeps it from slipping away. Sticking to Stoic beliefs and picking smart friends are very important on your Stoic path. By being aware of and staying away from these 7 types of people, you can keep your mind at ease, concentrate on what really matters, and walk your Stoic path with strength and virtue. As you continue to learn about Stoicism and how it can be used in real life, remember how important it is to surround yourself with positive people who share your values. Your dedication to these values helps build a group of people who are all looking for wisdom, courage, and a good life. By being Stoic with your friends, you not only improve your own path, but you also encourage others to follow the Stoic path to virtue and personal growth. There are 8 things that Stoics say you should not tell people. Click here to watch them. See you there in a second. Be Stoic. Stay Stoic.